All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Heavyweight Nation. Big news today that Cody Chittum just decommitted from Iowa and flipped his commitment to Iowa State, right? This was all over Twitter today, and a lot of speculation as to why this was happening, that he could go to their biggest rival, what Iowa State's lineup actually looks like, and, what factors could have led to this, and again, where the state of Iowa wrestling is right now. So obviously, Kale, you can get us started on Chittum's accolades. Yeah, you can just start with accolades.
Yeah, I mean, this kid's one of the best recruits we've seen in some time now. I mean, I think this is a kid who can step in right away and compete for a national title. We saw Haynes do it. I mean, why can't this guy? He's been training at the Hawkeye Wrestling Club for a year now. He graduated early, and now I think, fits perfectly into a Iowa State lineup that has almost a murderer's row from 141 to 65. I mean, Swiderski at 141 looked really good last year. Pinheiro, same thing. And now Chittum at 157 could be a perfect spot for him with Carr going up 65 now. So, I mean, this kid, Super 32 champ, junior Fargo champ, and he's competing on the senior level as well. You know, silver at the Bill Farrell, bronze at Duquesne, and then the Egyptian ranking series got bronze as well. So, I mean, this kid, he's tough and he's competing right away at the top level. So, I think this is a guy who we can see stand really high on the podium this year.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him a little bit at these senior level events. Obviously very impressed. I mean, didn't really get to win anything, but again, with the level of competition there, that doesn't really say much for, going into I think his first college season next year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to watch, whether he takes a red shirt or not. I'm sure he does he qualify. He might qualify for Olympic red shirt. Not entirely sure about that, so don't take anything from there. But looking at this lineup, Swiderski, Pinheiro, Johnson, Coach him, and then Carr to just close that out, right? That's just
Pretty scary.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's looking great. I think Iowa State's been building very effectively these past couple years.
Yeah.
Losing Marcus Coleman, Sam Schuyler is obviously going to suck a little bit, and I think Perakina as well, who didn't really wrestle the rest of the season. But I think the line Iowa State's team is looking very good heading into this. So I don't want to speculate too much about this, but they're talking about the reason he left. He, in an interview with Cody Goodwin of the Des Moines Register, was talking about how he would rather leave Iowa than be teammates with Anthony Ferrari. He said he really liked Iowa. He loved being around the guys there, and that it really hurt him to leave. And just typical things like that. I think he would fit into that line very well. I think Ferrari would also, but going back to the history between these two, I mean, I don't know how far you want to dive in, but they were teammates at Blair when I want to say AJ was still in high school at this point. I want to say this was my junior year of high school, 2019 when they were there together. They were dominant. Blair's like the best team, one of the best teams in the country every year. I think along with
Yeah.
Bergen Catholic and Sem at this point.
Yeah.
Super teammates, unbelievably dominant. Obviously, most people already know what happened. If you don't, the Ferraris left to go to Bergen Catholic, where they were deemed ineligible for the postseason, obviously because just a 30-day transfer rule is what it is. There's obviously some other stuff. It's all just speculation. Nobody, not really going to touch on that. And then they went back to Allen, Texas, I want to say, for the final year.
Hmm.
Obviously, AJ goes on to win titles as a true freshman. Not on team anymore, might make a return this year. I want to say Anthony was at Oklahoma State, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and he committed to Iowa about a month ago. This caused a lot of talk. I think as far as him solely as a wrestler is concerned, I think it's just beneficial to the team. But again, I can't really speak on any of the other stuff because I'm not in the room with them. So I mean that just is what that is. But I mean, if you have anything to add to this, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he was originally number one recruit in the 2023 class. I mean, he's been bounced around with his commitment a little bit. I mean, he first announced his commitment to Minnesota in summer of 2021, and then almost over a year later, and then flipped it to Iowa. So I mean, and now being there for a year at the in the wrestling club, training with international guys and everyone around. I mean, it just stinks that it seems like he was kind of forced out, um, and he didn't want to leave because I think he stated that himself. He really didn't want to leave, but it's unfortunate. But Iowa State, I mean, they're getting a huge kid, huge prospect. So I mean, props to them.
Yeah, 100%. Where does talk a little bit about like where Anthony Ferrari might fit into this Iowa lineup? Because right, obviously, I want to say maybe a couple days ago at this point, they just picked up Victor Voinovich
Yeah,
of Oklahoma State, who's again, if you go back to his high school days, obviously hasn't been a massive name in college yet, right? He's obviously very talented, but he's one of the top names consistently in high school throughout his career. Just talk about that.
yeah. You would think with Murin now gone, you would think that that's where Voinovich would fit in, and now Ferrari. I mean, I would think he would take a red shirt, um, just get experience on the mat. He's pretty young, and I think Iowa has a pretty deep lineup to where they can fill guys in there. So I mean, I was I was always going to be good. That's a fact, but I don't know. I think they missed out here big time, and it's safe for them.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I really don't think there's any wrongdoing on the school's part. I mean, unless there was something we haven't been told about at this point, but it's just a rough situation both ways for the guys. I mean, if he would rather just leave the school than be teammates with Ferrari 4 years, it
Yeah,
is what it is. Can't really say too much about that, but I think uh yeah, Cyclones are picking up a good one right there, and I think Carstall is in his final year of eligibility. Swiderski was a true freshman last year,
yeah,
true freshman, and so is Panero Johnson. And now with Chittum coming in, this is going to be like, this is going to be a fun lineup to watch.
yeah. I mean,
And
they got
obviously, with Iowa versus Iowa State being pretty much a blowout last year, we can hopefully forward to some more decently more competitive duels in a sense.
yeah. I mean, it's when you compare the lineups. I mean, it looks pretty close on paper. I mean, who do you think would win that duel? They if Chittum, um,
Iowa still pretty
yeah,
handedly, but I think I kind of go about this a different way when actually like discussing duels. I understand that sometimes the team score doesn't really reflect that. What was it? Penn State versus Michigan in 2022
yeah,
was when Michigan won the Big Ten title.
yeah,
Yeah, look at the dual meet,
yeah. It's true.
right? But Massa versus Starachi was a pretty close match, right?
Hmm.
Um, Kirkfleet beat Paris in that one. I remember Dean beat Brucky in overtime, and Suriano beat Hildebrand 1-0.
Yeah,
And I'm probably missing a couple, but it was a competitive duel. I think it was 29-6 to score. So it doesn't speak for anything, but I think we have some good matchups, right? And I think if Chittum versus Kobe Seabrit, Panero Johnson versus Victor Voinovich, Casey Swiderski, whoever's at 141 at this point. Real Woods, that was a stupid comment. That's gonna be another fun one like it was last year. Carr
yeah,
versus Patrick Kennedy is gonna be awesome,
right.
and the rest of the lineups as well. So I mean, yeah. Any final thoughts you want to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, just Iowa State. I think they're a team now that when the postseason comes around, when it's time to score team points, I think they can put up a lot of points from these guys, especially these four from 140, not 41 to 165. I think they can like totally compete within the top five at the national tournament. Huge pickup for them. It's
Yeah, I
gonna be
mean,
exciting to see how it plays out.
yeah, I'd have to look in a little bit more to really commit myself to that top five, but
I think it's
I
close, dude,
definitely think this is a massive pickup, and Stidham could be a high up All American just coming right out. So,
for sure.
yeah, this is pretty much it for this episode. Any questions, comments, leave them down below. Um, yeah, see you guys again next time.
Peace.